So guys, here we are. It's Friday night, July 20th, 2018, and I'm in the little town of Elk City. We love this little town. It's tiny like Greeley Hill and Coulterville in California, where we're from, and the miners bring a lot of money here, and they treat us very well. They're very big patriots up here, and we like that. But we were supposed to have a meeting with the LEO, the law enforcement officer. His name is Brooks Beagle. Super nice guy. Actually been friends with the guy for, I don't know, probably going on 5 years now. He's the type of guy that really kind of gets his place. He believes that he's a public servant, and he goes out and talks to the people and in a friendly and a professional manner, and we really respect him for that. All the miners respect him. But we were supposed to have a meeting tonight at 5 o'clock. He was going to come to our camp and allegedly issue us a warning for dredging without this plan of operations permit, which is fundamentally not required by law at all. They know it, we know it, everybody knows it, and that's why we're here, is to prove that, you know what, the government gets so big, so bloated, and they create so many regulations that it becomes a prohibition, or it becomes so onerous that most people just give up. And I know you folks at home are probably agreeing with me, because you see that all across the board. Yeah, what kind of light bulbs do you have to buy? What kind of toilet do you have to do? That's all of these people that sit and make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in Washington, D.C. making decisions for you. The meeting was supposed to happen at 5 o'clock, and we waited there until about 5:45 and no show. We heard from one of the other miners that Brooks had stopped by, and the folks in Washington, D.C. who are watching this video just like you are right now, they told him to stand down. Now, I don't know what that means, but they cited officer safety, and we find that really laughable, considering, and I'll swear on the Bible, if Brooks was here right now, Jerry and I are going to go have dinner, I'd buy him dinner, because he's a nice guy. It's utterly laughable that they would cite that. And I think that what it is they're trying to save face a little bit, because they know we're right. We have the law on our side. The only thing that we believe in is that law should apply to all of us equally. Federal agencies, federal agents, everybody equally. You know, and I think that what they're trying to do is to portray the public, whenever they push back against the government, as some kind of Ruby Ridge thing, you know, where it's a big uprising, and, you know, and it's laughable, because, you know what? Every single person on this river knows that that's laughable. The miners are no threat. Brooks Beagle is no threat. You know, it's just utterly absurd. As a matter of fact, we were going to exchange some pies that Nancy made at the cafe here for some elk sausage from Brooks. That's how much he's in danger. The core of the issue here, guys, really is about the government when they come up with regulations, and especially, and I'm going to use the Forest Service, if they create regulations, they're supposed to communicate with the stakeholders. We're real property mining claim owners on this river. They only give us a month to dredge, even though we remove all the mercury, lead, I don't know how many pop cans we pulled out of the river and all this trash. We actually help build fish habitat and all these other things. But because Cheryl Probert, and that's the Forest Service supervisor up here, unilaterally created regulation on her own and tries to shut this stuff down. And you get to a point where you say, you know what, enough. We have the law on our side, and so that's why we're up here. We didn't pull a permit because you don't need one. What this is, and for the folks from Washington, D.C. right now that are watching this, that work at the Forest Service, we had a conference call with you last October. Jerry and I did, with AMRA. Because we've been writing letters to Trump and communicating with the Trump administration, and they told you guys to have that conversation with us. Lasted about 2 hours. You had your head counsel on there, and we agreed. After we provided you all of these things and all these problems within the Forest Service, you guys were going to look into this. And we provided you with evidence and all of these other things that it wasn't a question of if they were happening. The only question was why, and what were you going to do about it. And we had an agreement before we hung up the call that we would have an open line of communication. You guys have not taken our phone calls, you've not answered our emails, and you know what? Cheryl Probert, since she put in all this illegal regulation stuff that she did, She won't answer our phone calls. She won't answer our certified letters that we send her, emails, or anything. We even have examples of miners up here that have been trying to get a plan of operations for placer mining operations, you know, miles away from the South Fork of the Clearwater that don't involve suction dredging at all. And when they call, and actually by a stroke of a miracle, they actually get Cheryl to answer her phone, she hung up on them, literally hung up the phone. That's why we're here, and that's why we're sending this video out there. All we want is to sit down with the people in the Forest Service and go, look, you guys are doing these things. It's adversely affecting us. And I think everybody watching this video can understand that. Don't we have a voice? Don't these people work for us? Don't we pay their wages? The last time I checked, I'm a taxpayer. This is how I make my living, is mining, and they're trying to take it away. I don't care if you don't like it. It doesn't hurt the environment. It's been proven. The 27 studies that we have provided by Oregon State University, by fisheries biologists, by the EPA, by all of these, even the study that Cheryl Probert used to do all of this regulatory nightmare, even the study she adopted from the Department of Fish and Game here in Idaho, every single one of the items that they studied about suction dredging came back de minimis, meaning no harm. So if something has no harm, why are you still doing all of this stuff? Why won't you talk to us about it? That's what the complaint's about. So this video right here is an appeal to President Trump. It's an appeal to President Trump's administration, to the Department of the Interior, to the head of the Forest Service. When are you guys going to answer the damn phone? When are you going to answer an email? When do we, the miners, and especially AMRA, we represent tens of thousands of miners, when do we get a chance to talk to you guys about all these things? We've got evidence of fraud. Felony forgery fraud. Why are you not interested in supporting and representing the people that pay your wages? The last time that I checked, inside the Forest Service 2800 manual, it says that they're supposed to encourage mining, and they can't cause an undue burden, and they can't materially interfere. This goes well beyond material interference. It's a prohibition. And you know what? We're pretty tired of that. I hope you guys agree with me.